Good morning, everybody. Good morning. I'm going to delete something I saw on my computer. Buenos dias, bonita. Good morning. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Hey, Maribel, good morning. Good morning, everybody. I got some news for y'all. We're going to talk about Rafael Ted Cruz this morning. We ain't going to just talk about him, but he's one of the people we're going to talk about this morning. Man, oh man. But good morning, everybody. Now, y'all know the last time Texas had an issue. Remember when they had the issue with their power grid? No, he's not back yet. Yeah, Ted Cruz is in Greece with his family. See? Republican officials, I just put up a video about it, and one of the things I said is, I'm starting to think Ted Cruz's last name is not Cruz. Cruz is like a status. You know how you have a status on the internet that you can have? Cruz is like his status. Like, he's always on vacation. He's always out of office. He's always too busy for his constituents. And I don't understand why Texans continue to vote for Ted Cruz. Seems to me Ted Cruz is focused on Ted Cruz. He doesn't think about the residents of Texas. How Kawiki Dinkle? I mean, now granted, it was a flash flood. I mean, I'm going to give him that much grace, even though he wouldn't give a Democrat that much grace. What's your opinion of the lady that did it just for... I don't know what you're talking about, James. I hadn't seen that. Can you give me a reference of information? I hadn't seen anything about that. Oh, he doesn't care about that flood at all. He's just trying to save face so that when it's time to run for office again, when it's pointed out that he doesn't show up for Texans when he needs to, he can point to it and say, no, I took time out of my Greek luxury vacation to record, to do a media interview. The pastor's wife said it was just a bunch of... Which pastor's wife, James? I'll look it up. I got my computer right here, so give me more details. Texas had a chance to correct. Yeah, and that was the thing. Texas did have an opportunity on the local level to put an alert system in place, and it comes down to money again. They didn't do it because they didn't want to pay for it. They said it was too expensive. But you can't put a price on safety. That's like saying I don't have smoke detectors in my house because it costs too much. Is it really worth the risk to not have them in my home just so I don't have to pay the money? Don't make sense. Do I think that Trump will pass the torch to the VP to stay in power? That's a good question. No, you guys can ask questions. That's fine. I heard somebody talk about that yesterday, where they said they think what's going to happen is JD is going to run for president and Trump's going to be his vice president. That's never going to happen. That's never going to happen. Why would Trump be second fiddle to JD Vance? Only people thinking that shit are people who would love to keep the Republican train going with JD Vance. First of all, JD Vance don't have the charisma that Trump has. Second of all, JD Vance is a horrible liar. Trump is a much better liar than JD Vance. And nobody's scared of JD Vance. Hey, Lady Glitter. So it's never going to happen. Trump's ego is too big to acquiesce and play second fiddle to JD fucking Vance. Not happening. Trump would rather try to break the Constitution and break up everything than be second fiddle to JD Vance. And it's not going to be Marco Rubio either. Yeah, Trump don't admire Marco Rubio either. He don't have no respect for Marco Rubio. Think about it. Would you have respect for a guy that you've already talked shit about him before to his face, right? Think about it. You've already talked shit about Marco Rubio to his face before. And on top of that, you're vilifying his own people. And Marco Rubio is helping you do it. I wouldn't respect him. I think he's a sucker. I'm just keeping it all the way a buck. If I was Trump, I'd think Marco Rubio was a sucker. So if I think he's a sucker, I know Trump thinks he's a sucker. You know? Maribel, they're never going to tell us the truth about Trump's health. Remember, they told you he was 6'3", 230 pounds. They still lying about that shit. not right word, but the sideline more JD than Marco, because only reason why you see Marco more is because Marco heads up the State Department. Oh, Trump gonna free Diddy. He's gonna free Diddy so every red pill man across America can be so excited as if they have a shot with their broke ass. It's always funny to me to watch the red pill content on the internet, because I go, the guys who are lifting that shit up are broke. See, the one thing that those guys, that the red pill guys don't have, well, outside of charisma, charm, and most of the guys who doing that content don't have it either. But they don't have any money. They don't have the X factor. They're fucking broke. So no, ladies are not going to be lining up to date them. They don't have anything. And women are not in the business of caring for them like they're a bad bitch or something. So it's like, nah. So they have no desire to do that. Hey, good morning, everybody. Good morning. And thank you so much for joining me this morning. Thank you. First of all, I got to stop there and say thank you so much. Don't forget to check out the Straight No Chaser podcast. I got to do my thing, because look, my manager, ChatGPT, says that I have to do a better job with promotion. I told y'all I really do use it as or help me, figure some things out, but it certainly keeps me less emotional and focused. I told it the other day. I was like, I think the stuff you told me to do, I don't think I should have done that, because I don't think I'm worth that. Why ChatGPT say you only feel you feel that way because you're insecure? I was like, oh. It was like, calm down, chill the fuck out, and continue to do what you've been doing. Okay. Listen, sometimes you need that. Sometimes you need that reinforcement. Yes, it said that to me, Jersey Rican. It said to me I was being insecure. And that I needed to roast it the fuck out of me, Sanopa. That's why I said I like talking to, because it's not emotional. It's not it snapped at me. Because I was doubting myself. That's why I said, just in those moments when I start to doubt myself, ChatGPT says, what are you doing? Chill. That's why I be telling y'all, talk to that AI, honey. Because AI ain't emotional. But it caught me being emotional. And was like, do you want to do the things that you say you want to accomplish, or do you want to cry about it? What? I literally was like, now wait a minute. I don't recall asking for you to be so gully with me. Like I told y'all, I use ChatGPT to help me figure out which collaboration opportunities I should take advantage of, right? Because I get a lot of people coming at me for things, and I'm sure y'all get a lot of things coming at you too. And so I've been talking to this company, and this company had been saying, yeah, they wanted to pay and this, that, and the other. Y'all know I blocked somebody. Yes, I did. They wanted to pay and this, that, and the other. And so then when I told them what my quote was, they come back and they say, that's a little bit over our budget. Not a little, a lot, because they didn't want to pay anything, right? How about we start off with just a commission, because you'll get some promotion. So I fed it into ChatGPT. I'm going to tell you exactly what it said at the end. That ChatGPT said at the beginning, said, based on everything you said, the hard truth, because they ain't trying to give you no pay up front. They haven't answered your questions. You'd essentially be giving away creative labor, ad space, and audience access for free with no guaranteed return. No. In a nutshell, it was like, no. They trying to play you, boo. Listen. They're trying to play you, boo. It's a no. So I responded no. So the ball's in their court. They can figure it out. But to ChatGPT's point, it constantly reminds me, don't let these brands play in your face. They got money. If they have money to make a product, they have money to pay to advertise it. And understand they're already paying for advertising it. Boom. So they can pay you. Y'all better use that AI. That's another reason why rich people don't like it, because it makes you know your worth. So you don't accept nothing less than what you deserve. and you say it was $50,000 for a warning system for that area, $50,000 would have been a drop in the bucket compared to what it's going to cost Texas to revitalize all that area. I was watching footage yesterday of that storm. It has destroyed that area. So again, I go back to, it's going to cost more because they didn't do preventative maintenance. You know what I mean? It's always cheaper to deal with the problem before it's a problem. Because once it becomes a problem, it's going to cost you a lot more money. And their inability to want to deal with the problem and take the cheap way out, well, here we are. Here we are. And I just find it interesting that conservatives are now like, now's not the time to talk politics. We shouldn't be talking politics right now because we have a crisis. No, now is the exact time to talk politics. Because your lack of leadership, your lack of governance got those residents there. That's how it happened. Too bad, Mac, you don't know that 2 has 2 O's, beloved. When it's 2 O's, it means also. You've been blocked. Bye. No, you didn't come in to do that. Wow. Wow. He worked really hard to write that to me. Only to misspell it anyway. Good morning, Alex. Good morning, everybody. He thought he was doing some shit. 2. That's T-O-O. Every day, every day, every day. Hey, first timer, and welcome. I hope you have a great time with us here this morning because we're going to have a lot of conversation. A lot of conversation. Now, of course, okay, a couple things. We talked about old Raphael Ted Cruz. I refuse to call him just Ted Cruz because his name is Raphael. Just like Nikki Haley, I don't call her Nikki Haley. I call her Namrita because that's her name. Her name is Namrita. She just wants to act like she's not. I don't know what that is versus saying her name. Because all of my immigrant friends who, they use their name. You know what I mean? You just got to learn how to fucking pronounce it. And if you can pronounce all this other shit that's in America, you can pronounce their name too. Are you planning on being honest? Well, yeah, I am, but I am honest, but you won't get to see it. Bye. Too bad nobody saw your comment either. You got to love it. You're not being honest about the president robbing and taking our money and stealing from us. He's not taking some of it. He's taking all of it. Child. Y'all ain't figured out. Get off your knees. Y'all get off your knees. Trump don't have no respect. I would have thought that people understood by now that Trump don't respect people who grovel and don't have no backbone. Just so y'all know, Trump don't respect that shit. He will never respect you more for sucking up to him. Never. I'm just telling you. No, I'm not bringing them up in this live. I'm just, every so often I do bring up people, but not in this live. Oh, I forgot to tell y'all. Y'all never voted in that movie poll to pick a date for when we're supposed to talk about sinners. I mean, I'm going to pin it. I'm going to see if I can open up the poll back up on Patreon and pin it at the top. Because I don't think anybody voted. And no. I was wrong. Ignore me. There's a 3-way tie. I'll put up another one to finalize. Look, here they go. All loud and wrong. All loud and wrong. Yeah, because I want to watch Sinners. But I'm trying to wait until I know what the date is. Because I haven't seen it yet. Man, isn't it the best to hear Trump, people talk about Trump? I love, let me tell you what I love. Listen. Some people will say I'm heartless for laughing. Oh, well. When all those people who love Trump and they were all for deportations, but they were married to immigrants, makes no sense, right? Because there are easier ways to break up. But anyway, they voted for Trump anyway, and now their mate is being detained or has been deported or in the process of being deported, and they're just crashing out on the internet about it. Honey, listen. That's what you wanted, beloved. But if you wanted to get rid of that man, all you had to do was go to the courthouse and file papers. You didn't have to vote for his deportation. I mean, come on. Come on. That's the part that cracks me up the most, is they continue to do the bare minimum. The bare minimum. But it's interesting to watch people who voted for Trump now try to rationalize, right? They're now trying to rationalize, well, we didn't mean the good ones. We meant the criminals. What y'all didn't understand is if you came in this country illegally, the Republican Party considers you a criminal. They don't care which program you're in now. Whether that's DACA, TPS, they don't give a shit. To them, you are not supposed to be here. You got to leave and come back. This is why it's important for you to listen to the rhetoric when it's being spoken and hear what people don't say. See, y'all think because they don't say it outright, oh, well, because they haven't told me they don't like me, they must like me. I wasn't raised that way. You don't have to tell me you don't like me for me to get you don't like me. You know? Oh, yeah, he has the gold visa for rich folks, but I told y'all yesterday, not one rich person has bought a gold visa. Not one. Because their lawyers have been giving them guidance that it's illegal. Don't waste $5 million on that. So ain't nobody trying to waste $5 million on that bullshit. Trump tried to do it as a money grab, but people are smarter than that. The only people who are going to give him money for that is anybody that wants to money launder, but nobody's done it yet. You want to know how denaturalization works? They're hitting Haitians with it. Well, what they have done so far, as I know, is peel back any protection programs you're under, and they're trying to say that you have to self-deport, but the Supreme Court has said it's okay for him to do that. See, again, I keep telling y'all, Trump is not doing this alone. This is in conjunction with the Republican Party and the courts, Republican judges. They all do this together. All of this is done together. Just like I just saw a video where a guy talked about, I can't even remember his name. I got to find his name. Where he talks about how in that budget bill, there was some message that was passed. You know how now up to this point, if you get things from like, you order stuff from Hong Kong or Vietnam, you have a de minimis tax. As long as it's under $800, you're not charged. They got rid of this in that bit. They got rid of that in that bill. Because they're trying to force you to pay more for shit by buying it through American manufacturers and American sellers, right? That they're trying to force you to pay more for less. Pay attention. They're going to keep wages low, but then raise the price of things at the same time. I'm telling you, rich people want us just working, suffering, where you don't even have the room to breathe to do anything else. All you're doing is working. That's it. That's what the system wants. You to work. Because if you work and you keep your head down, you don't have the energy to fight the system. That's what this is about. They don't want you fighting back at all. Because fighting back makes you a problem. Because you might give other people the idea to stop fighting, and they can't have that. They cannot have that. That's why I just look at all this stuff and I go, I'm wondering when Americans are gonna wake up. You know. And again, Republicans are still talking about maybe this will help accelerate birth rates. No, it's not. More and more people are not going to have kids. You say, when did we drop the ball? I don't think America ever picked the ball up, if you want me to keep it all the way a buck. I'm going to be honest. America it never picked it all the way up because America was so busy hating somebody else. It always needed a fucking enemy. I'm going to just keep it all the way a buck. That's part of the American problem. You know what American exceptionalism is? Hating anybody else that's exceptional. Because most of the time America's mediocre as fuck. I'm talking about the whole thing. When you compare it up against other nations and what they're doing. Our population is decreasing because government is crushing Americans. And it's going to keep happening. Why would somebody have a baby? It's too fucking expensive. Why would you get pregnant and your own government, and your own government won't give you control over your body? Why would you risk having a baby? Women know the closest that you ever get to life and death is childbirth. So why the fuck would you risk getting pregnant, having a fucking baby, for your government to tell you you don't get to choose what you can do with your body and what you can't? I wouldn't. See, I'm post childbearing age, but I wouldn't. Hell, I remember when I was young, I wanted like 6 kids. But then when you grow up, you realize that's too fucking expensive, having a trough of children. That's a lot of money. And I wasn't willing to. My thing was, I grew up in poverty. What I wasn't going to do is have a whole bunch of kids and put them in that shit too. Because I know how that shit feel. You say you have an article from the New York Times about Stephen Miller. Oh yeah, he wants a population decrease. He does. Look, I'm not about to debate with anyone who thinks Biden did a better job than Trump. Well, then if you're not going to debate, beloved, why are you here? You just wanted attention for your little 3,900 followers. And you got on a mask. You woke. Get out of here. Get out of here. Are you serious? He had, listen. It looks like he was a painter, but he wore a mask. You got on a mask. You really believe that those paint fumes can harm you? That's woke. That's woke shit. That's woke shit. I thought you was a man's man. Real man. You don't believe in paint fumes? Get out of here. Get out of here. Get out of here. I couldn't take you seriously when you had that mask on. I couldn't take you seriously. You certainly ain't from the South. Because the South ain't wearing no mask while they paint. They just gonna paint. Open the window over there, Cheryl. I know, my family's from the South. I ain't never painted a room with a mask on. And I'm not saying that I shouldn't have. I should have. But I'm just telling you I haven't. Get out of here. Get out of here. Say it again. The box fan in the window. Talking all that stuff and got on a mask to paint. That is woke. I'm not going to take that seriously whatsoever. Whatsoever. Now, I want y'all, now we're going to talk about something else. Y'all remember when Republicans kept on talking about if Trump gets back in office, he going to release that Epstein list? Y'all remember that shit? It is so funny to watch Republicans fucking crash out right now about this Jeffrey Epstein thing. Because you got one side who's like, no, he's not on it. There was never a list. Then you got the other side going, wait a minute. I thought they said it was a list. Where's the list? We need to know. It is so funny to watch these fuckers fight. They're arguing amongst each other in conservative circles now. And I do believe Trump is on that list. They were close friends. Now, I'm going to tell you what I find interesting. Back in February, Pam Bondi claimed she had the list sitting right on her desk. Remember? Remember that? And I'm going to go through all of this and I'm going to release it. So conservatives remembered that shit. Because again, you're giving them propaganda. Right? She was feeding them red meat. Only to then take it away. Now I'm going to tell you what really happened. I'm going to tell you the truth of what really happened. Right? There was never any client list. Trump was lying. Republicans was lying. Pam Bondi was lying. They all were lying. There was never a client list per se. There was never a client list. Not for the purposes of Epstein doing blackmail against somebody. That never existed. Now, had there been depositions? Yes. And you're going to find that in those depositions and in those things, a lot of information is redacted because you don't need to know that information. Say if my name was in there, but I didn't do nothing, you don't need to know my name was in there. You understand? So that's what happened. But what happened was the Trump and Republican Party, they pushed an agenda. They pushed propaganda. Problem is, Trump won. You are that very government you told everybody not to trust. So should they not trust you? So they lied again, to your point, John. Now they got MAGAs going, wait a minute. What do we believe? You're lying. Hold on, let me get something. Yeah, that's what they'll say today. You know, they're lying, they're lying. So now MAGA is crashing out. Good morning. How do I like this live? You just keep tapping the screen and it'll give hearts. And that's a like. Thank you so much. And first of all, thank you all for joining this morning. To tap that like button and share button. Copy link counts as a share. You do not have to send the link to anybody. Ain't that squeaky door something? That's my office door. Chill. That door is a snitch. always telling. That's when I can tell that cat or that's when I can tell the dog is trying to sneak in here, because the door tells on him. But the Republicans sold a lot of propaganda to people, and now it's there wasn't a list. But you've been lying to these people. So how about you tell them that the problem is now they want to tell the truth. See, Pam Bondi's telling the truth now. There was never a list. The problem is, bitch, you lied off the break. You lied off the break. So to come back and tell the truth, nobody gives a shit about the truth now because you lied. And that's what they do all the time. They give you propaganda first, then they come back and try to tell the truth. But then by then, everybody thinks there's a liar. So now some of MAGA is calling for Pam Bondi to be fired. And I hope Trump does fire her, because it was unnecessary bad press, all because she wanted to sound like she had information she didn't have. So I want him to fire her ass. That's what she gets for fucking lying. And then the Justice Department released the videos too, but there's a minute of video missing. There's a minute of video missing, and we don't know what was in that minute. So that also, if you go in conservative circles and you see them talking on message boards, they're going crazy about that minute missing. They're losing their minds. On top of being told there's no client list and a minute missing out of that thing, they're crashing. We don't know. Look, and the funny thing is, for some of them, they say, this is a deal breaker for them. All the other shit Trump has done, now it's a deal breaker. That's why I can't take them seriously. I can't take conservatives seriously when now you're at a deal breaker. All the other shit this man has done, but apparently now all of a sudden you're fed up. Man, get out of here. They're clowns. They're full of shit. Luis, you want to know why African Americans support Trump? A lot of them support Trump because a lot of them, some of them don't love their blackness. Some of them are pick-me's. They would rather be one in that sea of bullshit than none. You understand? They would rather be one special one, they think special, in the sea of that shit, than be in a sea of everybody that look like them, because then they ain't special. They also don't read. They don't research. They tend to usually have lower education levels. I'm just telling you. They run their mouth a lot, but they don't know a lot of shit. A lot of times they're men, so they're looking for a place to belong. Not true, Celestial. Some Democrats actually do care about you. And I'm not in the business of trying to teach you which one, so I got to let you go, baby. People in dark spaces, I leave them there, because I don't want to lose my light chasing you when you're in a dark space. Yup, I'm not going to lose my light chasing people in dark spaces. I told you, I don't do that. You can believe whatever you want to believe. Go ahead, Samuel. Sure, you can ask a question. Some are gamers and they might say it again. That poor mama, I feel for the mamas. Jesus. I feel for the mamas. Them boys ain't never coming out that basement now. Them boys ain't never coming out that basement now, beloved. Yeah, it is collaborators and class traders. And it's a lot of toxic and I've talked about this before. The increase in toxic masculinity in America, again, it's not like it ever went anywhere, but it's here because a lot of men were raised only by women because their daddies weren't there. And I don't blame their mamas for that necessarily. I blame their fucking daddy for that because a real man don't walk away from his fucking kids. So what you're looking at is a sea of men in America who were raised only by women and they act like fucking women. Literally. They're in competition with women. They get jealous of women. Real men aren't jealous of women. Real men love real women. I leave people in the dark. Yep. Leave them in the dark spaces when they in. No chasing in dark spaces. Yep. Goes back to how they were raised. Yep. Goes back to that as well. I'm sure a lot of parents who lost their daughters in the Texas floods at the camp voted for Trump. They did. Quite a few of them did. Quite a few of them did. This is also why y'all see so much spinning and not really wanting. And some of these conservatives are still not blaming the Trump administration because they can't. You understand? I told y'all it's the people's temple of politics. They gonna ride this thing until the wheels fall off of it. Understand? For many of them, they're never going to admit. And for many of them, they will risk everything for it. Oh, Texas has a lot of sundown towns. There are sundown towns all across America. Black people know about that because it's crucial to our survival when we travel by car. If you don't have an understanding of the safe places that you can be and can't be when that sun go down. I remember my family talking about that shit way back in the day when I was a little child, when we used to travel doing road trips and stuff. There were places that you didn't stop no matter what. Oh, you did a video on the Green Book. Yeah, that's real stuff. That's real stuff. That's why I said all this stuff with Trump, I'm hoping that it causes Americans to start having real conversations. Hey, good morning. That's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping it causes, honestly, especially the Latino population, to wake up to understand their power. Their power is not in alignment with white supremacy. Their power is in alignment with all of the minorities in America. That's where your power is. Your power is not in alignment with white supremacy. Good morning, Miss Blue Love. Your power is in alignment with minorities. Because large groups of people make a difference. But I'm telling you, if you immigrate to America and you thought you were white in your home country and you're mixed with anything else, you ain't white in America. That ain't how America looks at that shit. And see, that's why I said to y'all yesterday, a whole lot of people who not black getting their Negro wake-up call. Whole lot of folk. Because they're starting to understand. I don't even think some of them are understanding. I think some of them are some of them are confused. They're like, what's happening here? They don't like you. That's what's happening. It's almost like a black person that grew up only around white people and that's all they know. And then at some point in their life, they start to realize that those people were never really their friends. Say it again, Money. I will vote for Donald Trump. Her husband's been detained. Her husband has been detained. She's so mad. She's so mad. She's so mad. And she like, I don't understand how this could have happened. I'm like, bitch, where have you been? Where have you been? I could have told you that it was going to happen. I'm mad I didn't bet money on it. Because I would have got paid. You understand? You understand? I'm like, come on. Yep, they don't get it. In America, there are two races, black and white. Ain't no in between. That's why when people like Byron Donald talking about, I have mixed children. No, you don't, sir. You have black sons. You have black sons, you're going to get them boys hurt talking like that and teaching those and raising them boys like that. Because when I see them boys look like black men. Mix, what the fuck is that? What is that? That's not even anything. That's not going to protect you from shit. I got family myself. I have family, right? I have family. I got family members that look white because they are biracial. Like they literally look white, but they are black as fuck and will let you know I'm black as fuck. Don't get it twisted. Don't let the smooth taste fool you. They caught a many of folk talking shit about black people around them thinking they were not black, but they are. They don't use their ability to pass as a cloak to hide. Nah, they actually use it as a way to infiltrate. What you say? I love my cuz down south. That shit. Hey, cuz, I was at work, cuz. I heard these boys talking. I heard them talking, cuz, and they were saying all this shit about black people. I don't think they knew I was black, cuz. So I had to set their ass straight. And like, listen, listen. You ain't gonna talk about my people like that. Shit. I got black babies at home. I'm like, all right, cuz. Let them have it, cuz. Don't, you can't go by off of how people look. You can't go, like I said, Candace Owens, man. She played in that box, honey, and played with that shit and then turned around and had a baby. Girl, it's never going to end well for her in that circumstance because she did a disservice for her child. Because your child isn't going to be given the grace to pass. They're going to remind that baby every day that their mama is black. Because that's what America does. Remind you who you are. Anytime you forget who you are, America going to remind you you're black, you're Hispanic, you're Chinese, Japanese, you're a woman, you're disabled, you're elderly. You understand? America is a country that's always going to try to put you in your fucking place. Anytime you try to get too big for your britches, the system wants to remind you, hey, calm down. Calm down. Don't be acting all brand new. This is not for you. You understand? So I'm just like, child, y'all learning y'all place. If you don't learn your place, it's going to be to your detriment. That's why I say to Hispanic America, wake up. If you want to change the shit that's happening, you got to join forces with the very people that you didn't want to join forces with. That's all I'm going to say to that. Because us black folk, we know how this shit works. We know what it is. You ain't got to tell us twice. We've seen it before. You say your cousin's Puerto Rican and Trini, but looks Mexican. She stays shedding a Mexican. Listen, I know that's right. I know that's right. Because see, that's how you get to, that's ultimately how you change mindsets. By being around people and them seeing. Because a lot of the things that people learn or understand are stereotypes. They get the shit from TV, movies, people talking to them about certain things. And you realize that certain people aren't that way. Just trying to see what this is. But that's what you're going to see. Now I see a picture here. I'm going to save it for next time. So they have a picture of Trump golfing and eating ice cream while Texas parents continue to search for their missing children. But they thought he was going to care about them. He don't care about y'all. You are a means to an end. He'll use you in your tragedy for his benefit, but he doesn't care about you. And people who will use your tragedy to their benefit don't like you. And that's a fact. They don't like you. Because it shouldn't have to be that way. I'm looking. Now, a judge just blocked a provision in the big beautiful bill to defund Planned Parenthood, because that was also in the bill. Because in Republican circles, they think that only thing Planned Parenthood does is abortions. That's not true. Women go there for their women appointments. They go there for mammograms. You understand? If you're a woman, you understand that Planned Parenthood does more than that. That is one facet of the things that Planned Parenthood actually does. Just one thing. But now a judge is blocking. Again, I keep saying, this is my opinion. The Republican caucus, the Republican Party, they seem to me hell-bent on destroying America. No, I'm not letting you up, world. Where you think you at? Matter of fact, I ain't gonna even let you up, and I'm gonna let you out the front door. Bye. The fuck? Who you supposed to be? I already know you have nothing of value to add to this conversation at all. I already know, I could tell by the way you engaged me with that. I just know that there's nothing else that you have to bring to the table. And that's okay. But I'm not going to, again, give light to darkness. Okay, now apparently Trump has been sending letters. Ciao. Trump has been sending letters to different countries trying to get out of this tariff bullshit that he started, right? Listen to one of the letters. Dear Mr. Prime Minister, it is a great honor for me to send this letter in that it demonstrates the strength and commitment of our trading relationship and the fact that the United States of America has agreed to continue working with Japan. Sound like to me off the break, the very first sentence, sucking the fuck up. Kissing ass, because his trade war ain't working, right? He says, despite having significant trade deficit with your country, he said, nevertheless, we have decided to move forward with you, but only with more balanced and fair trade. Therefore, we invite you to participate in the extraordinary economy of the United States, the #1 market in the world by far. This letter is obviously a form letter, but these fuckers are begging. Please. They just said this is dated for yesterday. Yep, and it's a form letter because they sent one to Japan. I see one for Korea, and it all says the same thing. Trump lost this fucking trade war. Pawpaw started a trade war that he couldn't finish. He couldn't bully his way out of. Now, Americans, we're paying more. We're getting less. And who he gonna blame? Joe Biden? Not laughs in Japanese. Listen. What did they say? That time I laughed in anime. Isn't that how they laugh in anime? Yeah, that was me. Thank you, Alina. Thank you. But this is how you know we not winning. And keep in mind, it was a one-page letter. A one-page form letter that they sent to multiple countries. Why would anybody negotiate with them? Clowns. Forget laughing in Japan. I laugh in LaToya Jackson. Tee. I love when LaToya does that shit. Tee. I'm like, girl, you're almost 70. Girl, by now you've learned how to laugh, beloved. Stop it. Almost 70 years old. Tee. Girl. Yeah, she's almost like that. Look, let me look it up. LaToya Jackson's old. She ain't as young as we think she is. Let me see. She still try to act like she's a teen. She's 69. Like I said, she old enough to not be acting like that. Hold on. Yeah, she's 69. She's old enough not to laugh like that. No, she not 60. Think about it. Janet's the baby. And Janet's closer to 60 than her sister is. Yeah, Janet's 59. Yep. LaToya's 10 years older than her. Yeah. Oh, man, we getting old. No, we are seasoned. That's who we are. You know why? Sometimes I forget about age because I spend a lot of time watching a lot of the same old shows and movies because that shit is timeless and it's doing good. Hold up, y'all. Hold the horses. I just found some breaking news. Breaking news. Breaking news. Breaking news. Whoa. What the fuck? No. Get this off my screen. No. No. What is this? The hell? Guess what, y'all? Oh, I'm just trying to read it. Come on. I don't give a damn, Google. Stop trying to sell me something. Maxwell and Janet Jackson are dating again. I never knew they dated the first time. TMZ caught them coming out of a freaking nightclub. Coming out of a nightclub. Deny. Cancel. I don't need none of that shit. I don't want none of it. Escape, escape, escape. No, I'm not doing none of that. You know what? See, Microsoft, you're not going to just be carrying on my computer. No, I'm not contacting you immediately because I know that's trash. Deny. 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 What the fuck did I do? Hold on, y'all. Task manager. My computer is wilding because I went on something that I should not have, obviously. That is tearing me up. Let me just do this. I'm gonna close Google Chrome altogether. I don't know what the hell that was, but y'all not for no, because I already know that's just trash. But yeah, I didn't know they were dating. Did y'all know? Yeah, that's some virus thing that they're trying to they're trying to install something. But it tells me that not TikTok, TMZ got a virus or something over there popping on their website. Be mindful of going over there. Yeah, but apparently they're dating. What Janet say about Kamala? Y'all got to understand, them Jacksons, they don't always have it together either. They're a little, you know what I mean? I'm just keeping it all the way above. The Jacksons be on something a little sometimes. He always says his love flows through vessels and not gender specific or whatever. Who said that? If I have a virus sweeper program, run it now? Okay. Yeah, it was when I just went to TMZ and I was like, what the hell caused that? So I'm going to go ahead and run it now while we're here. But yeah, so that's going on. And then yeah, so I'm gonna run that now. You said shut it down. I closed it. It didn't get to do anything. It was just like one of those websites that pop up and says, hey, you got a virus, call this number. And I didn't do it. But now I'm running my McAfee right now. That's why I'm like, and I just bought this computer like about a week ago. So that's why I'm like, run smart scan. But yeah, yeah, I'm running a scan right now while we're sitting here. But it reminds me of my grandmama or my auntie or something, and they call, something happened with my computer. What happened? Well, this thing popped up and I just started clicking on it. Well, why would you do that? Chill. Skip that for now. When it's scanning. Because I don't even have much on this system. Like I said, I just started using this computer last week. This is the one I bought last week. Now, I know my information's on the dark web. Look, I don't have no viruses, but of course, McAfee trying to get me to pay for some. No, I'm not paying for nothing. They always trying to get you to pay for some shit. No, I just wanted you to do a virus scan. I ain't need all the other shit. Oh, so you don't have no love for Janet no more. Oh, I didn't know what she said. Let me see. I'm going to look it up. Let's see if she really said something. Janet Jackson. I want to know how come Ice Cube's so quiet. Remember Ice Cube told us that, Trump was the way. Now he quiet. Where's Killer Mike at? Who has so much to say? What happens to him? Because Mike only comes out every 4 years when there's a presidential election either. And I like him, don't get me wrong, but he only seems to pop up like a crypt keeper, just like Jill Stein, when it's a presidential election. Yep, Snoop backtracking, trying to make excuses. Oh, I was trying to get a bag for my group. Listen, that's a fucking excuse. As rich as you are, and you claim that this crypto guy been your friend for 15 years, your crypto friend wouldn't give you money for your stuff? You mean to tell me none of these people would give you money if you didn't go do 30-minute DJ session? He full of shit. Snoop just wanted to make money. And if anything, I could see Snoop when he got the offer. Ain't nobody gonna tell me what the fuck to do. I'm Snoop Dogg. I do what I want to do. But then he's too much of a coward to be honest about that shit after the fact. Nope. Now I see Janet Jackson. They said Janet Jackson tells an interviewer that she heard that Kamala wasn't black. Then she apologized. That's rich coming from Janet Jackson. No bullshit. That's rich coming from Janet Jackson, considering she never liked when folks questioned her blackness. You know what? I'm going to totally... Okay, I got it. Yeah, she never liked when nobody questioned her blackness. So, yeah, I do find that odd. But I'm not surprised. Nothing, it doesn't surprise me. I'm going to keep it all the way a buck. Yeah, that I find it interesting, especially because Janet Jackson's husband wasn't black. Both of them. Well, no, the first one was, but the other two weren't. So, since when? You said, are the Black Panthers coming back? Well, the Black Panthers never went anywhere. Black Panthers are still around. They never went anywhere, technically. There's still Black Panthers around. So, Adam Parnas is here. What do you mean? Nerd alert. Not to bash Jehovah's Witness, but they can be, they can be a little jaded. They can be a little jaded. So that's why I said Janet, a lot of things Janet say I don't necessarily agree with because I remember what type of family she comes from. So I don't always, you know. Yeah, I remember Renee is Puerto Rican. My point is he's not black. Not that there's anything wrong with her marrying a non-black man. I'm just saying it was rich for her to say Kamala wasn't black. It's like, then are you saying your own child ain't black that she had with the Muslim husband she's married? Of course she wouldn't say that. So that was a dumbass thing for Janet to say. That was just stupid. So that's why I'm like, you know. And it looks like Trump is about to flip again on those tariffs, and he's about to acquiesce again. So taco strikes again. Just when you thought y'all were done eating tacos, they're back. Nothing has changed. Trump he's still out here, you know, doing something else. Oh my, wait a minute. That can't be true. No. Wait a minute. That can't be true. Hold up, y'all. I'm trying to see something. Okay. I'm about to say, listen, I'm not even going to say it because it's not true. And I don't want to get in trouble. I'm trying to see if there's anything else. And of course, I see conservatives talking. I was skeptical of claims Trump was on the Epstein list. I'm not so skeptical anymore. That's not what's happening. What's happening was Pam Bondi lied out the gate. There was never a list. How do I feel about the Mexican president sending rescue team? Okay, so I put up a video about that this morning. You know what I felt about it? I felt it showed leadership. Now, I'll be honest. I'm too petty. That's why I can't be president. Because I wouldn't have sent shit. I wouldn't have sent a damn thing. Yeah. I wouldn't have sent a damn thing. But that's just me. Because I'm petty. Right? You say I always lie, Darius, yet you're here. Bye, but you're not here anymore. but she shows that she's a leader. The president of Mexico is showing she's a leader. And she showed that no matter your racism, your ignorance, your arrogance, we're still going to lead and we still are going to show compassion and empathy. Because I asked in my video I put up this morning, hey, Texas, how it feels when Mexico's showing up for you, but your own government isn't. Shit, because Ted Cruz is in Greece. Oh, I love that Mexican president because she don't give a fuck about Trump. Trump can't bully her. She not having it. Trump can't bully her. You know, Jersey Week, and they forget that some of Texas was Mexico. Hell, you still got that old ass Trump still running around talking about Gulf of America. Stupid shit. I saw him with a hat on yesterday that said that. Gulf of America. Dumb shit. And you know why he says it? So that he can create merchandise to sell it. That's it. See, I'm glad that I was born with characters and morals, because I tell you, if I ain't have no characters and no fucking morals, oh, man. In America, though, they will never allow female. Let me tell you, what did I tell y'all before? You're going to have a Hispanic president before you have a female president. You're not going to get a female president anytime soon. America is too misogynistic for that shit. There are too many hateful ass men in America for that shit. You see how men crash out on their job when their boss is a female? Imagine having a female as a president. Man. Crash out. Crash out. What's going on with the food in North Carolina? Hold on, I'll look it up. Let me know. Let me see. What's happening? Oh, flood in North Carolina. It's another flood in North Carolina? I mean, now they're having one too? Oh, I'm looking. Yeah, I didn't know across central North Carolina because everybody's focused on Texas. Yeah, I had no idea. Whoa, yeah, not too far from that Greensboro area. Whoa. And so they're having water rescues in North Carolina. Oh, wow. More than 23,000 customers in North Carolina were without power on Monday. Yeah, I still feel like it's something else going on here because I keep getting that thing popping up even though it says there's nothing on my computer. So it's something. You know what I'm going to download? I know what it is. I'm going to download something to remove spyware. I'll do that after this. Or some type of malware. Because I got some type of malware on here from somewhere. Yeah, so I'm going to do that. Because that's why that shit keeps coming up. And that annoys me. Like, the fuck? You said CC Cleaner? Okay, let me get that right now. Because I was just looking. I'm like, I know what that is. I'm like, CC Cleaner. There we go. I'm going to just go ahead and get that. Because I'm like, this is some Bojangle. Because I shouldn't even see that. And I knew, I'm like, that's malware. They want me to click on shit so they can put malware on my system and carry on. And I'm like, no, you're not going to do that. You know, that's not going to happen. Yep, I just downloaded it. I'm going to install it right while I'm sitting here talking to you guys. Because I'm sitting here like, the fuck? Yeah, I know this is a brand new computer. So the fact, and it just started popping up. Right, you know, when I first went to TMZ inside of here when we were talking. And I'm like, okay, TMZ got some shit popping over there. Because that's where it first started for me. So they need to check on their website. Somebody has violated it. Now watch out, it will wipe your history in Google Chrome. That's fine. I really, this is, like I told you, it's a new computer. I ain't got much here. So I'm okay with that. Long as it cleans. That's all I care about. Yep, let it just. No, I don't want that. No, I don't want that either. No. These companies, man, they always want to sell you something. Okay, I'll close it. I'll close it. I'll close it. It's closed. Everything on my computer is closed. I'm sorry, you guys. I just wanted to do this while we were talking. Close these programs. Okay, let it scan. Because I don't like seeing that pop up. That make me feel uncomfortable. I don't like that shit. It says, they say they can do... Clean all that shit. Get it off my computer. Okay, that was fast. Clean. Yeah, I cleaned all that up. I'm like, I can't have that. I'm not upgrading. You tricked me. Sorry, you guys. No thanks. Skip for now. No. I hate. Thank you. No, I'm not. No. The fuck? Jesus, these programs. Anyway. Yeah, everybody's always trying to sell you something. What did I tell y'all? As soon as you get up and open your eyes every morning, someone's always trying to sell you something. They're always going to try to sell you something because, again, rich people, their life, we pay for them to have the life that they have. None of that shit's by accident. Okay? None of it's by accident. So even when they tell you that it is, they be lying. Now I'm trying to see. Okay, there it is. At first it wasn't working. All right, now we back in business, y'all. Yeah, because I'm like, I don't like seeing that stuff pop up on my computer. I'm like, that's not, I don't usually have that issue. So that's why it stood out to me like, that's odd, because I know me, I know where I browse and I stay away from places that are not good. Okay, I'm looking here. I'm just trying to see if there's anything else happening that I don't know about, that you guys may not know about before I wrap up this morning. See if anything's else. Do you guys think that the Republicans in Texas who lost children in the flood are going to question their elected officials in Texas about what happened? Do you guys think that's going to happen? Or do you think that those parents are going to not say anything? What do you think is going to happen? You said Guardian UK? Okay, I'll check that out. Oh, you guys say no. You don't think the parents are going to ask any questions. Wow. I just wonder, like, how low do they have to go? Those are your babies. I just I don't know if I could lose my baby and not ask questions. It would bother me. You know what I'm saying? Wow. So y'all say no. That is just, wow. And just so y'all know that the Department of Defense, and I'm sure some of you already knew this, they are confirming that U.S. troops are assisting with ICE raids in L.A. So now we have the military going into communities, snatching folks up. And I guess the military can do it because technically it's a lawful order because the court has said it is. Supreme Court said he can do it. So it's nothing, the military are going to go do it. Oh, Lori says they're setting up ICE training on Marine bases. Wow. Yeah, I do consider it kidnapping. Nerd alert. I do. No, I didn't see ICE on horseback at a park in LA. My thing is, I can't talk about that here. Go to Patreon because I'm catching myself because I something in me saying, don't say that. You say that, you're going to get your ass in trouble. I already know. Yeah, but it is kidnapping. And Trump has federalized the California National Guard, which is unconstitutional and still being fought in court. See, what I realize, what I know about conservatives, they don't give a shit about law and order. They tell you they do, but in fact, police and all those things are used to keep you in order, not them. Not them. Ever. That's crazy. Okay, now reports are saying it's unclear who they are. People aren't sure if it's actually the National Guard, but the DOD has confirmed that they are troops, likely federalized National Guards and or Marines. Yep. And since the Guard is federalized, the Posse Comitatus Act applies. The act says the military cannot be used as law enforcement inside the U.S. unless the Insurrection Act has been implemented, and the Trump administration claims that it has not. So that if you don't remember anything else after Trump, you remember that he did it and Republicans allowed it. Y'all can't keep voting for people who don't have the best interests of your country as a priority. This is insane. That's wow. And Congress could do something about this right now. But Republicans agree with it. I'm telling y'all, they agree. Wow. And Alex is saying in the chat that they expanded military bases on the borders to house detainees about 2 months. That's insane. That's just wow. Wow, man. This This is just, I feel like I'm in another country almost. I just, now, no, I'm not even going to say it because I don't know how to say it without the thing catching that. So I'm going to keep my mouth shut. I'm going to keep my mouth shut on that one. Now, Texas is asking people to ground their drones until current flood search and rescue operations are complete. Somebody had a private drone that they were flying illegally in the restricted area, and it collided with a helicopter involved in emergency operations in Kerr County. The helicopter was forced to make an emergency landing, and a critical piece of response equipment is now out of service until further notice. So fools are flying their damn drones over rescue and recovery areas, impeding the ability of the people who are there to do the work because people want fucking content. They're chasing content. That shit is crazy. It is interesting though to watch people celebrate the floods. Like, wow. But we've gotten here because of Trump. And you know the funny thing? Conservatives are outraged. Conservatives have the audacity to be outraged. Outraged for fucking what? They set the standard. Conservatives literally set the standard on this shit of the fuck your feelings. How many school pew-pews have happened and them people have said they're crisis actors? It never occurred. Some heartless fucking shit. Every time. But now you want empathy because it's in your own backyard. You can't expect that when you haven't been empathetic to those other people. Then you're going to get everything you've been giving them. I'm not saying it's right. I'm saying I understand what's happening. People are fucking tired. Yup, they're mad, Shay, because it affects them. That's the only reason why they're mad. Otherwise, they never cared. They're talking about this is what compassionate liberalism looks like, I suppose. But why do you care? There's no such thing as compassionate conservatism. Matter of fact, you said fuck our feelings. Wow. And they're spending the whole conversation. Democrats are so bad. Democrats are so bad. Shut the fuck up. Shut up. Shut up, whiny. Shut up, baby, crying. What the hell? Oh, thank you all so much. I'm just looking to see if there's anything else. We all know about Ted Cruz being on vacation. Now, remember when J.D. Vance wrote this on Twitter? September 4th, 2021. Hashtag never forget. Remember when we learned that our wealthiest and most powerful people were connected to a guy who ran a literal ring? You know what I'm talking about. And then that guy unalived mysteriously in jail. And now we just don't talk about it. Yeah, JD, we remember. We remember. And then trying to see something. Thank you all so much. Thank you all so much. I'm just trying to see if there's anything else we don't know about. I do wonder what Glazane, is that how she says her name, Maxwell's in jail for. considering there are no, you understand what I'm saying? I wonder what she's in jail for. Hold up. Now I'm about to read this. Now they say Pam Bondi is confirming the Ark of the Covenant sitting on her desk waiting to be signed. Let me tell you what this is. They're about to learn the contents of, oh no, that's, I think that's, wait a minute. No, this can't be. Come on, conservatives. You can't believe that. You can't believe that. Okay, that's neither here nor there. That's not what I thought it was. That's not what I thought it was. I thought it was something else. I was just looking to see if there was anything else going on. But I don't see anything else. Ted Cruz told people, oh, I just saw this horrible video, y'all. It's cringe worthy. This is cringe worthy. I'm embarrassed for Ted Cruz. So Ted Cruz is out at this thing and he tells people to go home and hug their children, right? So, because he did a press conference. He goes in to try to hug his own child and she curved him. Y'all know how, listen, when somebody's a great father, their daughters, they're daddy's girls. Y'all know this, right? They are daddy's girl. Okay? They are daddy's girl. Okay? The fact, how you gonna curve your own daddy in front of the press? And the look on his face when he gets curved is classic. Is classic. You know, yep, look, Mike's like, yep, I'm a girl dad. See, Mike knows. His daughters don't like him. When your daughter curves you, like, she's like, stop. Ew. She's backing up. She's like, get off of me. Honey, little girls don't do that. Little girls who love their daddy, they fall into their daddy's arms, okay? They fall into their daddy's arms because daddy's arms is a safe space. You understand? You understand? You know what she's probably thinking? She's like, Dad, I never forgot when you let Donald Trump call mommy ugly. Because, see, I never forgot that shit. Y'all remember that at that debate where Trump called Ted Cruz's wife ugly? Y'all remember that shit? And Ted Cruz never checked him. I remember that. Ted Cruz never checked Donald Trump. And I was just like, yo, how does he still have a wife? And that told me everything that I needed to know about her too. Because there's no damn way my ass would have still been there. I would have approached my husband soon as he got off that stage. Hey, yo, you let that man sit up there and call me ugly and there was no furniture moving up there. Divorce. Divorce. I'm done with you. I need a man that's going to stand up for me and his family. Not happening. But I remember when he called her ugly. and nothing happened. But Jeb Bush wasn't having it. See, that's why I still had respect for Jeb Bush. See, listen, the Bushes, they got a lot of shit with them. I'm not saying the Bushes are perfect. However, the Bushes also have some standards. It's just certain shit they not going to do. And it's certain shit they will also not tolerate. And Jeb Bush made very clear, oh, no, I'm not like them. Yep, and his wife is Mexican. And Jeb Bush is fluent in speaking Spanish. He don't hate Hispanic people. He does not. Jeb Bush does not hate. How could he? His wife is Hispanic. His children. You know what I'm saying? That's one thing I can say about Jeb Bush. To me, can I always keep it a buck too? I always like Jeb more than I like George. George to me was the son who wasn't as smart as Jeb, but always got the pass in favor for some strange reason. But Jeb, I felt like I respected Jeb Bush. I didn't always agree with his politics. I didn't know Laura Bush, was Mexican too. I didn't know that. Yep, Jeb was good, groomed to be president, but couldn't get nowhere close to it. And then his brother, who kind of is the jokey joke, becomes president twice. I know Jeb was like, this is some bullshit. This is par for the course. Like my entire life, this fucking guy has always gotten, oh, send me the meme, JW. Send it to me. Yeah, you know me. I love a good meme. I will certainly put it up. Y'all know I love a good meme. You said orange felon will be the destruction of the U.S. Then we need... Right. The unfortunate thing is building again is going to take decades. And for many of us, we won't see the results in our lifetime. I will be live again 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time this afternoon. I'm actually going to start wrapping up because I got some things I got to do. I got some recording I got to do, some editing I got to do, some writing I got to do, a lot I got to do today. So all day long, I'm working and doing stuff. Look, because this is the job. Because this is the job until I get something else. And if I'm lucky, if I'm blessed in the way that I need to be and do the work that I need to do, there is no need for a job. I am the job. So, we'll see. But I love you guys and thank you all so much for joining me this morning. I appreciate it. I appreciate all of it. Look, ChatGPT got me on it, Alex. That's why ChatGPT checked me yesterday when I almost talked myself out of something. And they said, cut that shit out. You just doubting yourself, getting sensitive. Chill. Stay the course and stay focused. And that's what I'm doing. So thank you all for joining me today. I want to tell you to have a wonderful day today. Look, we got 80,000 likes today. I appreciate that. I appreciate all the engagement. We had some great conversation today. I'm going to keep digging into what's going on in Texas today. I'm also going to take a look at what is happening in the Senate and in the House, because even though they passed that bill, I just know that they passed the budget bill. It's other shit that they're going to be doing too. And all of it isn't necessarily to our benefit. And so I know right now the House is working on stuff related to veterans. So, and what I do know is when it comes to veterans and the federal government, they don't treat veterans well. So I'm going to dig into figuring out what's going on here. Because they ain't been caring about veterans. Why do they care so much now, all of a sudden? Yeah, so I'll let you guys know. And just so y'all know, that budget bill that passed, the Republicans literally titled the bill. The government official title is One Big Beautiful Bill Act. These people, man, I just feel like I'm in a sea of people who peaked in fucking high school. That shit, that's so fucking whack. That's what you name it. The Big Beautiful Bill Act. Keep in mind when Republicans said, when Joe Biden was just in office, you're not supposed to vote for big, beautiful bills. Remember that shit? Remember they need to pass them on the eaches? All of a sudden now we don't do it. All of a sudden we don't need to pass on the eaches anymore. Who needs that? Who needs that? They did pass a resolution on the 27th condemning the violent riots in Los Angeles, California. Don't nobody give a fuck about y'all old people in Congress condemning that shit. Do your job. Raise the federal minimum fucking wage. So instead of doing something that would have helped us, that's what Republican Congress worked on. Okay. Instead of passing bills to stop insider trading in Congress, that's what the fuck they worked on. That's why you can't take them seriously. That's exactly why you can't take them. I cannot take people like this seriously. Now, they had another bill that failed for veterans. Oh, it's to provide appropriations for military construction for the Department of Veterans Affairs and related agencies. And of course it failed because they don't give a shit about veterans. I told y'all, stop letting these people play with y'all. They don't care. They don't care at all. One thing I know, the military needs more help. The people who work in the military, the soldiers, not the military contractors, not the defense contractors. They don't need no more taxpayer dollars. The money needs to go to the people who are doing the work. And that's the service. I'm about sick of the government, because basically defense contractors just have a cash register that's wide open that they get constant money from our government and nobody questions them on it. IRS says the churches can endorse candidates from the pulpit. Oh, let me look it up. Okay. I'm not surprised. You know why they say it? You know what? You know how to get this changed? I'm going to tell you, what did I tell you before how you get it changed? Satanists, atheists, Muslims, every religion out there, Buddhists, no matter what your religion is, start endorsing candidates as your church. Guarantee they change it again. Because this is about Christians. I told y'all, they're using their religion to try to legislate your morality. An easy way to find me, click the link in my bio, Cinti, and all the places where I'm located, all my links are there. And that's another question, Alex. What Christian religion is going to win? Because it's not like it's one Christianity. There are denominations. But if you want to end this, it's just like I told you. If you want to get abortion back, have them babies and leave them with the men and leave them men stuck to raise them babies. And the same thing here. If you want to overturn this whole thing, allowing the IRS saying churches can endorse candidates from the pulpit. Wow. Oh, I'll make a video about this. You gotta love it. But if you want to change it, Satanists, atheists, if Church of Satan started endorsing candidates, look how quick that shit will change. Look how quick it'll change. It will change on a dime. Do you understand? These people want to use their religion to control you. Like I told you, ISIS was never anything you needed to be afraid of. You needed to be afraid of the Christian right, which is crisis. They don't like you. They want to destroy you. They want to control you. But they don't want to live according to any of the rules they impose on you. And remember, religion and racism go hand in hand. Never forget it. And thank you so much, all of you, for joining this morning. And thank you so much, Nurse Fine. I appreciate you all. Make sure you check out the Straight No Chaser podcast. The link is in my bio. I'm finishing up that Catch It design today, D-Vizzy. But check out the Straight No Chaser podcast. The link is in my bio. Check me out on Patreon, Spotify, YouTube. Don't forget, I told you I got the backroom tier where I'm having all these other conversations that I cannot say on TikTok and YouTube. Especially about one particular country that we give a lot of money to. Can't talk about that anywhere except there, because they don't police you in the way that these other ones do. I want to remind you to have a great day. I also want to say, listen, thank you for all the likes, all the shares, all the gifts. I want to send a shout out to my top 5 gifters this morning. Number 1, beautiful Stacy D. Number 2, beautiful Kiana Black. Number 3, beautiful Sanopa. Number 4, beautiful Soyana. Number 5, beautiful Create Waves. And a special shout out to number 6, beautiful Living Life. Thank you all so much. And no matter who you are, if you sent a gift, no matter how big or how small, I appreciate that. Ultimately, I appreciate you spending time with me, because your time is the most important and precious commodity that you have. And once you spend it, you can't get it back. So I appreciate you spending it with me. Okay. I will be back on TikTok Live again this afternoon at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So I will be here. And listen, I want to remind you of something that I always do. Don't let people live rent-free in your head. Don't you feed no trolls. And you can accomplish anything you put your mind to as long as you stay consistent. Peace, you guys. I'll see you at 5. Bye-bye.